about my being a rep. Niggas ain't never been on my lip. They must got the wrong impression. All my fears and salute my lord. I took my check. Go through all this just to drop my sword. That shit out the question. Kyle can't call 144. We got the wrong yo. Keep talking. I'm deep stroking revenge. She a grown. I get 2 Glocks fully loaded, nigga. I call him dumb and dumb. What's wrong with him? He should've known better. He must be on something. Hey, it's Mr. Bring me back that cup. Niggas know they in trouble. Look around, little nigga. You see my breath? We think it was a mom. Red letters got me waiting on the D. Lord, we ain't no priest. I want the world to burn, just like Arthur Flip. I asked my Lord when we get that power. He said time to show. Took that first step like a man. I ain't no child no more. I need that glow. Humble, I don't like the boast. They know it ain't 144. They don't come close. Let's see who wanted the most. I'm from a city where they blitz. They'll rob you quick. Ask a God out DC about that shit. We both came up with trick. I remember when I was lost and on the wrong path. Lies that I told my mother, lies that I told my dad. Remember I walked in the house, he seen all the stress on my head. Called you about that robbery after school, I knew what I did. Victim of peer pressure all along, I guess I was scared. I saw the niggas help Miss Graham that crack, I should've killed her. I understand our oppression, when she died, it was heartbreaking. About to take a trip to Newtown just to say I'm sorry, man. This the only family I gotta play to win. At least I'm for my children, so they ain't victim of they sin. Glory, cause I chased away that demon, try to take my kin. Can't taste that pleasures with a vengeance, he'll be back again. Niggas move by emotions, I'm a soldier, I can't comprehend. Just know when Satan put that pressure on him, he'll probably been. Jumped off in that water, he can hardly swim. Strap on me, to protect my people, I'm on God. I got a crazy bitch, love the crazy in me, call her Harley Quinn. Remember what you did for me back then, always a long friend. Text my nigga threw his life away, I'm in a dark place. You supposed to be right here with me, you chose the wrong side. Wasn't always friends, we locked in after no, I can't go like that, my lord, no, not this time. I am the rep, ask about my being the rep. Niggas ain't never been on my lip, they must got the wrong impression. All my fears and salute my lord. I took my check. Go through all this just to drop my sword. That shit out the question. Kyle can't call 144. We got the wrong yo. Keep talking. I'm deep stroking revenge. She a grown. I get 2 Glocks fully loaded, nigga. I call him dumb and dumb. What's wrong with him? He should've known better. He must be on something. Hey, it's Mr. Bring me back that cup. Niggas know they in trouble. Look around, little nigga. You see my breath? We think it was a mom. Red letters got me waiting on the D. Lord, we ain't no priest. I want the world to burn, just like Arthur Flip. I'm trying to start this fire, but I'll be patient, Lord, I'll be still. My enemy took a turn for the worst. That shit gave me chill. Certified property ain't one Western. He don't fit the bill. On the call, cause next season wear a soldier circle on the field. I said we gon' teach him all to run. We gon' teach him all to kill him. If you can't go to him alone, then you ain't in this shit for real. Cap, you get them orders, what you do? How you keep your cool? How you find the truth? I said some niggas told me some real shit. When your hunter said God ain't 50-50, he revealed. Then Muhammad said you had these little things, you get the kill shit. I was lost, I thank the Lord, he put that zeal on me later. Don't say that, hold up, fuck that. I thank the Lord, he put that zeal on me later. So I got niggas up on Willow Road that still owe me a favor. It was a nigga up on Barron Road putting me on case. Shit, I know a nigga up on Stain Road that shoot nice like little baby. Could've went crazy, you think you the one with trauma, huh? Nigga, please, I was with them boys in the hood, just like Jordan did some shit I ain't gon' never tell. Ones that know it's God in me. Why I get that mercy, Lord? Don't know why you guarded me. God, I know you love me. You saved my life that night on New Year's Eve. I was out there riding with them demons like a dinner thief. Lord, I'm still trying to change. Please don't bring that darkness yet. It ain't hard to back with me, but I am the wrong one to tell. I let some brothers down to this day. It's my biggest regret. But I know this oath I took forgiveness is a bigger flex. The only reason I made the call, only reason I confess, so I can ride and watch the world burn, just like Arthur Flip. I am the rep. Hold on.
Most High in Christ. If you can hear me, give me a 1 West. I want to make sure that the audio is to Wab. You can hear me, give me a 1 West. Go ahead and get this class started. All right, Most High in Christ. So the audio is to Wab. So I want to say Yahweh Shemi Awashai Barakatham To the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bashim Yahweh Shai. To the sisters, uh, we're just gonna go ahead and get this class started. It was we are the Isupk, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We teach that the so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians are the chosen people of the Most High, the Israelites of the Bible. So today, just gonna get into some brotherhood. When I say brotherhood, sisterhood is implied. That's how Hebrew works. Basically, so when I say brotherhood, just understand that the sisterhood is implied in that. So one example would be, so there's a law that says when a man lay with another man, like he lay with a woman, it is an abomination. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but the woman is implied there. So don't do like some of them fake Israelite groups that use that as an excuse to say that women can lay with women. Woman is implied. Sisterhood is implied when brotherhood is spoken about. All right. So we're gonna start off let's go to Romans chapter 11 and verse 26. Right. Like I said, we're gonna be speaking, tying these scriptures into brotherhood, making sure that we understand why brotherhood is important, because the law is centered around how we treat each other. It's centered around brotherhood. Without brotherhood, we really don't have much at all. So we just got to make sure that we treat each other according to how the Most High told us to treat each other. You can understand directly on how to treat each other when you look at the law, statutes, and commandments. That's our guidelines. That's our that's our guidelines. That's the best way I can put it. That's our instruction manual on what we're supposed to do when it comes to how we treat each other. So this is the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved. So this is an important message that we have to, as Israelites, let each other know. We have to let each other know that only Israel, because right here it didn't say so all Africans, it didn't say so all East Indians or any other nation of people. Nation is synonymous with race as it relates to the Bible. It's just now today people say race, and in the Bible it's nations. So there's no other nations of people that are involved in this salvation that's mentioned here. And it's important for us to communicate this with each other and remind each other of how us being a special people matters. That the Most High said he's going to save us. Because if we don't treat each other like we're going to be saved, we're going to treat each other just like we're going to keep, gang banging. We're going to keep using dope. We're going to keep, um, serving in Esau's military, going in and out there in Iran, and like in previous times we was in Vietnam and things like that. When we was in Vietnam, they was telling our people, the Vietnamese were telling our people, why you here? What you do here? This know you war, because we had no business out there. That wasn't our war. It's if we go to Iran or Iraq, when we went to Iraq, it wasn't for us to have any type of stock or ownership in the oil. When we came back from those wars, we still were in our captivity. We still were oppressed. We still were mistreated. There was actually a story of a Judite brother, a so-called black man, who came back from a war. I think this was I think after World War II, came back from a war. He went to ride a bus, asked if he can use the bathroom. The bus driver caught an attitude with him. He caught an attitude back with the bus driver. They kind of snapped on each other a little bit. The bus driver said, okay, it's cool. Go ahead. You go use the bathroom. Of course, the bus driver is a so-called white man. Said he got upset during that conversation. And after the brother came back from the bathroom, the bus driver ended up calling the police to have them come and deal with this brother. They made false allegations against him and turned it into a situation that had nothing to do with him going to the bathroom. And this is a brother that just came from serving in a world war, fighting their war. That is not our war. Is in our captivity, we fight their wars. When we act like we're not going to be saved, we go about it in that way by coming back in uniform like he did. And just to make a long story short, he ended up getting his eyes gouged out. They gouged his eyes out, and they used the excuse to say he was drinking the beer in the back of the bus. That was their excuse when he wasn't even drinking the beer in the back of the bus. But if there was a brother during that time to let him know that who we are as Israelites and that it matters that the Most High said that he's only going to save us, he wouldn't have been in that position. He would have never been in that uniform. He would have never ended up in that war. He would have never ended up getting his eyes gouged out because he would have seen, especially spiritually, what mattered most. And that is Israelites. Being the Most High said that we're special. So we have to treat each other in that way. If the Most High said that we're worth being saved as long as we follow his law, statutes, and commandments, then we have to communicate to each other that we're worth being saved in those proper conditions if we meet those requirements. When the Most High said that, and so all Israel shall be saved, that should mean something to you. As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer. So this right here is Christ, Zion the deliverer. So he's sending the greatest brother to ever live. This was a Judite, which is today, Judah is the so-called black man or so-called Negro of today. You can see us in Brazil and pretty much all over the Americas, mainly in the South, in like South America and North America too, of course. I'm a Judite myself, there's plenty of us. Yet the thing is, Christ is a Judite. Christ is a black man. And his father said, the Most High said that he's going to send him. This is the man who showed the greatest form of brotherhood that anybody could show. And that's to die for your friend. That is to die for your people. He died for our sins so that we could have a chance at grace, which is a period of time for us to get ourselves together to prepare to be saved. We have to be able to understand this great, I would say, achievement, accomplishment, this great feat that he was able to accomplish because it directly affects us. It directly shows us the greatest example of what brotherhood looks like. So the way we treat each other, we have to be able to put our honor before our physical being. We have to make sure that we don't put who we are as God's chosen people. Salakit, we have to make sure that we don't put our physical before being the Most High's chosen people. We have to make sure that we put keeping these law, statutes, and commandments before gangbang, before shrimp, crab, and lobster. We have to make sure that we do that so that we can follow in the steps of Christ, Zion the deliverer. We have to make sure that we practice those ways of following the Most High so that we don't be stuck in this condition and don't get saved. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to speed it up. I'm not waiting. I'm not contemplating anything like that. I'm just trying to put my brick in and wake more of our people up so that we can share that message, so that we can understand who we are as Israelites and do like Christ did. Put your brick in, follow these law, statutes, and commandments, and make sure that we put our honor before just our physical carnal being. And shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. So once again, here's a double down. We should know, if you don't know at this point, Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So he just doubled down and said Israel is going to be saved. When Christ come back, that man whose skin is like burnt bread, like brass has been burned in the furnace, when that black man cracks that sky and he comes back to save us, you have to understand that he's only saving us because the state and condition that we've been in all this time, largely in part due to a lack of brotherhood, of letting each other know to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. When he comes back, he's coming back for us. And he's going to turn away that ungodliness. He's going to turn away those things that have kept us in this condition. He's going to stop us from sinning, from doing those things that are against the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. And it's important to understand that, because as long as we don't follow the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, we're just gonna be stuck in this condition. So we're gonna get. Let me see. I'm gonna get Jeremiah 31. Let's do 30. Yeah, let's Jeremiah 31. So we just got to make sure that we follow these law, statutes, and commandments and get out of this condition. We have to make sure that we do that, because if we don't follow those law, statutes, and commandments, we don't show brotherhood, we don't treat each other the way the Most High told us to treat each other, it's just not going to get. We're not going to get in a better condition. We're going to stay in what we in now, which is not the new kingdom. We are in Esau's kingdom. And in the so-called white man's kingdom, look around. When you can become president and you are convicted SAer, I don't want to, you convicted of SAing, I don't want to shut nothing down, but when you convicted of SAing and you could still become the leader of a people, I wouldn't let that man in my house, let alone be my president. That's crazy. If that's brotherhood, I wouldn't want no part of it. But the Most High taught us what brotherhood is. He let us know what it looks like. He gave us plenty of examples in scripture. But right here, this is Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord. So he's saying, the Most High is saying that these days are coming. These days are on the way, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel. So the Most High, he's letting us know, like this new covenant that I'm making is only with Israel. It's not going to be with anybody else. It's only with Israel. So we have to treat each other according to the law to make sure that we're prepared for this change. Because when this change comes, it's going to be very good. It's going to be tawab, ma'ad tawab. It's going to be very good for us. And we just want to make sure that we prepared and following the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, so that we don't end up in situations like what recently happened. There was a sister, she was known for, being a stand-up person amongst the community out in Durham. And she ended up being a victim of gun violence. If there was brotherhood amongst that place where she was at, if there was more brotherhood in Durham, North Carolina to be specific, if there was more brotherhood there, that wouldn't have happened. They would have been way better off. She wouldn't have been a victim of being shot. I'm pretty sure she wasn't even armed. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I think her daughter, when they went to the hearing to actually talk about what was going on with that situation, when they went to the hearing, I don't know exactly what happened at the hearing, what the official verdict was, but the daughter did not like it. She didn't like it. You know what she did? She went to go get a gun from the car, and she went and shot 2 police officers, because this world can make you mad. It can make you mad. Oppression maketh the wise man mad. And that's a scripture. Yet it makes a wise woman mad too. As I said, this brotherhood, it implies the sisterhood as well. If that sister was in the ISUBK, if she was in this truth, she would have knew better on how to handle that situation. She would have came and got counseling. We would have told her how to properly address the situation when she go to court. Carry yourself in this manner. But her spirit was shaken. It was full of hurt and pain and revenge, obviously, because she wanted payback. She wanted payback for what happened. But that would have never happened if we stopped listening to Christian pastors lying to us and telling us all the sweet stuff we want to hear, telling you, oh yeah, pick up that tambourine and sing this song and prosperity preaching and stuff. Telling it not even won't even dare go into the law. They say it's too bloody for them. But the the violence in the streets that they're not helping to stop, that's not too bloody for them. You want to know why? Because it's lining their pockets. It's not too bloody for them. As long as your blood puts a gold chain on your pastor, as long as your blood puts that nice big tall whatever it is on the Pope's head, and he stays in a nice big house and has his own city or whatever. I think the Catholics have their own city called the Vatican. As long as they have that, as long as you keep lining their pockets, you can kill each other all you want to. And then you know what you could do? You can go sit in that booth and ask him how many Hail Marys you should do. And he's gonna tell you do a few Hail Marys, slap yourself on the back with that belt a few times, and then pay your tithes. And as long as you pay your tithes, they're gonna tell you that it's all right now. That's not brotherhood. That's not. That's a scam. That's all it is. That's a scam. They dress up real shiny with the last month rent that they told you to give them. That ain't go nowhere but to his new limo and private jet, and nothing got better. The only thing that ended up for that sister who went and shot those 2 police officers was now she in jail. And you know they're not gonna be nice about it. You shoot 2 cops, they're not gonna be lenient at all. So we have to be able to do what we're supposed to do as according to the law and be there for each other to give each other the knowledge that we need in order to confront situations like this and make sure that we confront it with the law. Because the way you fight demons is the way that Christ fought demons. Christ fought those demons in the wilderness with scripture. And here in the ISUPK, like I said, if that sister would have came and got counseling, we would have been able to tell her better on how to go about getting the proper way of getting what was needed to be done within that judicial system. Even though we know it's pinned against us, she would have got proper counseling. That's the best way I can say without going into too much detail. So reading on, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. All right, so the house of Judah, like I said, Judah is the so-called black man, the so-called Negro man of today. Verse 32, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. So the Most High is saying, look, I'm going to make a new covenant with Israel. And it's not going to be according to, the covenant that we had when Moses was put in position by the Most High to be a vessel to bring us out of the land of Egypt. Now, in Deuteronomy 28, in that chapter, it speaks about how if we didn't follow the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, that we'll end up going straight back. Salaki. We'll end up going straight back into another land of our captivity. But this time we'll lose our whole culture. We'll lose who we are and understanding how special of a people that we are, and then we'll have to regain it. This is our time to regain that understanding. In the ISUPK, you would absolutely regain understanding of who we are, of who so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians are as it relates to us as the Most High's chosen people. You without that knowledge, it's hard to understand that new covenant applies to you. Without understanding that covenant, without understanding who we are as Israelites, it's just not going to make much sense. But the Most High, he said that he's going to make a new covenant with us, which my covenant they break. Now, I just mentioned that we didn't keep his law, and it put us in this form, spiritual Egypt, which is so-called US and all the places that we were scattered to around the world. We get nothing but oppression. We get nothing but treated badly. And the only thing that happens is they just try to act like it's normal, try to get us to not say anything about it. And when we say something about it, even though I'm not an advocate for Black Lives Matter, but when we say Black Lives Matter, they say Blue Lives Matter. When you got the Palestinians getting bombed, and when you got Palestinians getting bombed, there's places in the world where they tearing down cities and um, just rioting in various different countries for the Palestinians. When Oklahoma, Black Wall Street got bombed, nobody cared. That's the only time on U.S. soil that a bomb, from my knowledge, has been dropped on U.S. soil, aside from like Hawaii, of course. Yet the U.S. dropped bombs on their own soil because they just did not want us to succeed that badly. And we were shortly coming from out of slavery. This is our new Egypt. So we have to make sure that we understand the past and let our brothers and sisters know that these things have occurred so that we can understand what hurt us. Because when you go to the doctor and you show this big gash on your arm, they're not going to just be like, all right, well, let me just go ahead and do this. They're going to ask you, what happened? How did you get this gash? What symptoms were you having before you got this illness? What occurred before they begin to really start to effectively healing you? They might stitch it up really quick, but you still have to understand what happened in order to avoid it happening again. Although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. So the Most High right here is letting us know that He has a special relationship with us. And as I mentioned earlier, if we special to the Most High, why not treat each other as those special people? You should be special to your brother. You should be special to your sister. We as Israelites, we have to be special to each other, because if we don't treat each other special, then we're not honoring the Most High treating us special and letting us know, because the Most High, he has a very close relationship with us. And we have to make sure that we honor that by showing brotherhood, showing sisterhood, making sure, that we make it for the feast days, making sure that we help to house and clothe and feed our brothers as we do in the Isupk, making sure that, that we let our people know who they are, wake them up to who they are, so they can come out of those terrible conditions that we constantly in. I grew up in LA, and we got Skid Row. If you never seen Skid Row, Google is enough. I wouldn't physically visit. I've been there a couple times, but Google is enough. Trust me, the pictures will let you know enough. There's blocks. I'm talking a few blocks of nothing but homelessness. And you want to know what's going on right on those same blocks? Jay-Z's driving into a studio that's literally on the same block. These buildings worth millions of dollars. It's right next to downtown. It's probably in downtown. It's like right outside of downtown. Jay-Z's driving into I've seen multiple different artists and stuff driving to they black Tahoes and Suburbans and all that stuff, driving to these studios. And there's like a super high, I remember there's a place where they sell clothing, like high fashion clothing, like right there on Skid Row. We have to let our people know where we came from and how we get out of it. Because if not, Skid Row is just going to continue to grow, and it has. I haven't seen it in a few years. I can only imagine what it looks like now, because now there's many Skid Rows all over the place, and they're filled with Israelites. They are absolutely filled with Israelites. If you go through there, you're going to see nothing but so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. You're going to see a speck of Hamites, so-called Africans. You're going to see a speck of white people, you know, which is Esau in the Bible. You're going to see them in there too, and they struggling. They're absolutely struggling, trying to figure out, how can I get out of this condition? But at the same time, many of them have given up because they don't know that brotherhood and sisterhood in the Bible is actually real, because a Christian pastor is teaching them that it's some type of fairy tale, or they try to teach it. You go to Peter Popoff's church, or I don't know, pick another white man or somebody else that's not an Israelite to teach this Bible, to try and do it at least. They don't understand it. They teach it like it's a science book. They teach it like it's a science book, and half of them don't even know the Big Bang Theory is in the Bible. Half of them don't even understand that springs under the ocean. We've been knowing this stuff for thousands of years, far before they even understood it even existed. As long as our people continue to go to these Christian pastors and these Muslim imams and things of that nature, they're just going to stay lost. So it's on us. It's on us to take this truth and let them know that there is a fix for their condition. Salaki, I got a little carried away. But verse 33, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. Once again, the new covenant is for the house of Israel. And the Most High is letting us know this once again here. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts. Putting the law in your inward parts looks like coming to class. If you're watching right now, you are in class and you are absolutely practicing putting the law in your inward parts, because practicing the law comes with action. You can't just stare at the Bible and then expect it just to be absorbed. It's not some magical type of thing. See, the Bible is very practical. It's 70% practical. It's 30% spiritual. You're going to have to practice keeping these laws. You're going to have to put it in your inward parts. Like, you're going to have to make it a part of your daily life and make sure that you practice it daily. It took practice for me to to become a new creature, to go from the old man and become the new. It took practice for me to stop smoking cigarettes. It took practice for me to stop smoking weed. It took practice for me to stop eating pork. It took practice. It took day in and day out repetitions to where I had to understand the benefits of what it meant to keep the law. And now I would never turn back. I smell a cigarette and my stomach starts to turn. I smell pork and literally my nostrils start to tighten. Once you leave those things alone, you start to realize certain things. Like, I think everybody's allergic to pork, because now my nostrils start to tighten, and I've never felt that, at least not that I can remember, at any point in my life. Because from birth, I'm pretty sure I was being fed pork from birth. At maybe not from birth, but as soon as I was weaned, I'm pretty sure I was able. They was feeding me pork. You wake up in the morning, they give you some eggs and bacon, and you're just a toddler. You don't know the difference. But we have to be like babes in the truth and totally conform to what the Most High is saying. You have to totally embrace the law, because if you don't put that in your inward parts. Now now it's like automatic for me. Keeping the law is like automatic. I go through a certain amount of, like, a few sections of the law. I'll go through them every day. Usually it's about 31 laws I'll try to go through to make sure that I keep it in my mind, that it's automatic, that a lot of stuff I don't have to think about. And every day there's multiple laws that come up in my head as it relates to certain things and certain conditions that are going on. Like Memorial Day. Like right now, I'm at my slave teaching this class. And I think it was yesterday. See what I'm saying? So, but Memorial Day, um, I had there's a certain thing I had to do at my slave, to where basically I didn't know if it was shut down for Memorial Day. I didn't even know it was Memorial Day. And one of the clients had let me know. They said, "Hey, we don't have to do this today because it's Memorial Day." I was like, "Are you sure?" I even remember if people get the day off for work on Memorial Day, because when you've been taken so far from the ways of the world and you come into the ways of the Most High, which is His law, statutes, and commandments, those things start to fade, and you start to realize how impractical and irrelevant that they really are. And when you start to practice the law, you start to actually realize all the benefits that come from practicing the law. You start to feel you get more energy and Don't be sick as often when you stop eating shrimp, crab, pork, and all those unclean foods. I seen so-called white man at Edomite. He was eating the armadillo raw. Good night. And write it in their hearts. Once again, in order to write that in your heart, write the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments in your heart, you have to do it daily. I get it. Sometimes it's more difficult at times than others, but get counseling. I don't care if you're not in the ISUPK, call for counseling. I remember witnessing, this is when I was still living in Kenya. I remember witnessing Captain Tazariak counsel a Edomite woman, counseling her on about the death of her daughter as it pertains to where she ends up after this physical realm. And even in that situation, like that was based off of the lies that was told to her from the Catholic Church. Get counseling. Make sure that you go and you get counseling for whatever that thorn is in your side, like Paul had. We all have to fight demons. We fight them every day. Life is war, and you should be fighting those demons. Matter of fact, I got a quick question. Maybe somebody in the chat can take a shot at it. What does a demon sound like? That's what I want to know. What does a demon sound like? Though life is war, and when you get counseling, it makes it so much easier. We have some Adawanium, which means lords, some men who rank above us inside this school that have been able to teach us from Commander General Johanna all the way down. We got some brothers in this school that will give you counseling, and trust me, it makes it way easier when you know how to fight the battle. You wouldn't just go into a boxing match and then just be like, well, you know what? I'm gonna just go in like Ray J and just start throwing stuff. I ain't gonna do much workouts or nothing like that. I'm gonna just get to throwing. I'm not gonna learn how to turn my hook. I'm not gonna learn how to turn my straight. I'm I ain't gonna bob weave or nothing. You have to learn how to fight that battle. Don't do it alone. You don't have to. Like I said, even if you're not in the ISUPK, call for counseling. Contact us for counseling. We will absolutely give you the answer, and it's based off the Bible. We're not going to answer the phone and then tell you, you know what? As long as you give me about 15 bands, give me about 15,000, I'll hook you up. No, we ain't gonna do it. It's gonna be free. All right. It's gonna be free counseling. Now, I don't see really any answers for what a demon sounds like yet. So I'll give it a little bit more time and then I'll give you the answer. um, I see Yabashim Shabakata. I see Trooper Yazakar is in the building. Shout out to that brother right there. It's a Tawab brother. Um, so I will say I'll just go ahead and say the answer for the sake of time. A demon sounds like exactly. Khan. Trooper Yazakar got it. It sounds like you. So, and that's part of why it's so important to make sure that you learn how to fight these demons. Because you thinking that it's supposed to sound like Ooga Booga off of I forget that cartoon racing game, but you think it's supposed to sound like some type of exorcism or something. The demon don't sound like an exorcism. The demon sound like just like what you want to hear. You want to hear you tell you, yeah, just take a bite of that pork. You want to hear you say, nah, you know what? It's just a little weed, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't nothing. Just go ahead and take a drag. You want if it's you saying it, it sounds better. So you have to learn how to fight these demons because you won't realize you even fighting a demon because it sounds like you. So make sure that like I said, get counseling and um, just come to the ISBK, get counseling, and we'll go ahead and help you out with those situations. And will be their God, and they shall be my people. In order, like the Most High is Israel's God, and we are his people. Yet, in order for us to get around that bend, to make that turn into that better situation for our people, we have to show brotherhood. We have to treat each other better. We have to treat each other much better than the way that we've been treating each other in recent times. We have to. Shalom Adam, Shalom Yabashim Shabakatah. And we have to make sure that we treat each other better, because the way that we've been treating each other recently is not okay. I know when you heard it in that rap song and they said, "Hey, yeah, I like sleeping with my brother's girl." Uh huh. Yeah, no, that's that's not it. You don't sleep with your brother's woman. That's not it. That's not brotherhood. Stop looking at entertainers like they're your leaders, like they're gonna teach you something. Stop looking at Denzel Washington like he's going to all of a sudden show you how to get rich and make things better in your life if you act like him. That's not going to change anything. Denzel is not Jesus. He is not Yahweh in the Hebrew. He's not going to show you how to show real love to your brother. Cardi B, sis, she's not going to show you how to get a man. She's going to show you how to keep them running away from you. She's going to show you how to how to be nasty. Just to put it nicely. I had a few choice words I was going to use, but I'm gonna keep it PG for the kids. But it's the way we treat each other. Like I said, brotherhood is at the core of the law. It is at the core of the law because the law is built around how we treat each other. And the Most High wants us to treat each other the way He told us to, not the way some entertainer told you to treat each other. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with, listening to music. It's just music. They entertainers, and in ICBK, we look at them as entertainers. I like how the baby raps too. It's a nice cadence to it. The baby, the baby, the baby, but the baby don't have the law. All right. So we're gonna go over to um, Matthew's 5:17. Go over to Matthew's 5:17. See. All right, so this is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law. So as I mentioned, the law is very important for us to keep, because at the core of the law is brotherhood. It's centered around how we treat each other. It's centered around how we treat each other. A lot of the law people misunderstand because they don't understand the spirit behind the law. And oftentimes, pretty much every time, it's built around how we treat each other. We have to make sure that we teach and make sure that we tell and get our people in class so that they can understand that keeping this law is super important, because as long as we don't keep this law, we're gonna stay in the same condition that we've been in. Christmas ain't gonna get you closer to God, homie. It ain't. That tree ain't gonna make you no better. None of that. I remember as a kid, by the time I got to about maybe 11, 10 years old, I knew after I opened them presents, I ain't have to stick around the family or nothing like that no more. I just go in my room, chill, and do what I want to do now. Because I knew those presents made no difference. I knew that tree made no difference. I knew nothing was going to change about them. Everybody got baptized, but this one went down into the water. A drug dealer came up a wet drug dealer. This one went down into the water, a hole came up a wet hole. This one, and such and so forth. You get where I'm going with it. I knew there was nothing going to change about it. Nothing. Just because you sit there and you pretend like you care about each other on this day that you feel forced to care about each other. You should never feel forced to care about each other. But it is absolutely in the Most High's law that we must treat each other according to the law, that we must love each other, that we must protect each other and show care to each other. There's a law that says, do not fear your enemy. You should not be scared in the face of non-Israelites. You should not be scared to let your brother know or let your sister know, hey, look, that cigarette you smoking, it ain't gonna do you no good. And plus, the Most High, he don't really like us doing that. Find a way to let them know. Find a way to where they'll understand, or at least the best way that you can put it. Because I don't recall the exact scripture right now, but there's a scripture where it says try a certain amount of times, And if they don't get it, I think it's by like the third time, leave it be. But do not let their blood be on your hands, because if they sitting there smoking that cigarette or they sitting there smoking that weed, and somehow because you didn't say anything, you end up sitting in the hot box, and let's say that they died from smoking that weed because you didn't tell them it was a sin, that blood is on your hand. So we have to show better brotherhood, better sisterhood of communicating with each other. And I get it, not everybody is comfortable with confrontation or comfortable with um, just having those type of conversations. But understand that's not what you do, it's how you do it. Do it, do it in the Tawab spirit. Do it in the spirit to where they're going to understand that you care. They're not going to take it as, oh, they think they too good. Now they in the Isupk now. Now they think they are of above me now or whatnot. Nah, you black just like me. You Latino just like me. You Native Indian just like me. And we are God's chosen people. They must understand that you actually care. They must understand that it's brotherhood. And it's not hood first, that you're not coming against them, you're coming for them to understand that the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments matter. And there's multiple ways to communicate it. You don't always have to bring up scripture. You can just communicate it in ways to where they understand, like, okay, well, maybe that's not good. Because if somebody's smoking weed, you tell them, okay, well, do you smoke your Advil? When your doctor prescribed you that Oxycontin, did you smoke that too? So why is it that you got to smoke this? What's the point of it? We have to let each other know about these things. So about the law, so that we can continue forward. So moving on, or the prophets. So the Most High said he did not come to destroy the prophets, not the prophets of old, not the prophets of new. He is not here to say, oh, you know what, Moses, he don't matter no more. Jeremiah, he don't matter no more. Ezekiel, he don't matter no more. He's not here to say that nobody any prophet in the ISUBK doesn't matter anymore. We still have to get on that pulpit of wood and show and tell our brothers and sisters that they matter to the Most High. I remember Commanding General Yohana, he had made a statement. He said, I know that how much you matter to Christ. I think I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he said he understands how much we matter to Christ. So we matter to him. As I said before, we are a special people to the Most High. If we are special to the Most High, then we have to be special to each other. We have to be special to each other. You have to treat each other as if we are special to each other. Don't leave your brother hanging just because of whatever reason you got in the back of your mind about them. There's a law that where it says, if your enemy, and it's talking about Israelites, if your enemy's donkey is falling on the side of the road, and help them with it, help them get it up. I get it. Y'all caught the fade last week. Y'all was just in the fist fight last week. We don't fight in the ISUBK. That will get you kicked out. Though, if your enemy, y'all got in the fight, or y'all got some type of qualm, y'all, I don't know, y'all got some type of beef, whatever you want to call it. If you see your brother's car has broke down on the side of the highway and you recognize them, your sister's car is broke down on the side of the highway and you recognize them, you better stop your car and you better get them some help. And if you don't stop your car, you better be on the phone with AAA or on your way to go get them a donut for that flat tire that they got. Because that law that says to help them with that donkey, it's showing brotherhood even when it's tough. That's brotherhood. Brotherhood doesn't always look like a hug. It doesn't always look like a high five or a fist bump. It doesn't always look that way. Sometimes brotherhood is being upset. Sometimes brotherhood is being upset, but at the same time, setting up your brother in a better position. Making sure that they're taken care of even in those tough times. Salaki, 1 second. making sure that they're taken care of even in those tough times, because no matter what, I don't care what situations you have to iron out with your brother or sister, um, you have to make sure that you still treat them according to the law. And it's absolutely Salaka, it's absolutely important in law that we make sure that we have each other's back. Furthermore, I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So Christ right here is letting you know, this is red letter. He's letting us know that he's not coming to destroy the law. He's not coming to destroy the prophets. Like I said, he's not coming to stop us prophets from standing on that pulpit of wood out at camp, or holding these food and clothing drives, from feeding our people and clothing our people, and reminding them how special they are to the Most High, and that he's coming to save our people. This is all, this is all, this is all not going to be, he's not destroying the law. He's not destroying Slack. He's not destroying any of that. He's not destroying that. All of that is staying. He's coming to fulfill. He actually made the law harder. He made it harder. Like now, you, like I mentioned earlier, committing adultery against your brother with his woman, like when the action of going to commit the adultery in the Old Testament, that was in the Old Covenant, that was actually just, you had to go commit the action. Now Christ said, if you think about it, like you committed adultery. If you thinking about laying with your brother's wife, like you already crossed the line. So no pun intended. Shout out to Captain Saryak, Captain Katazai, Cross the Line Radio. Yet you're crossing that line. You're crossing that threshold. The law has become tougher to keep now at this point. So he's come to fulfill the law. He didn't come to do away with it. And he's come to make sure that these prophets and the ISUBK, and that we continue to let each other know that this brotherhood is extremely important. Verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass. So he's saying till the sky, because heaven has a context. It is a condition, but it also can refer to where the Most High is at, and it also can refer to the firmament that is around the earth. So the firmament is the reason why when you see spaceships and they go into space, why they have to have those thrusters going at such they have to push them so fast to where they can break through that firmament, because the firmament is a thick layer around the earth. It's see-through, you can't really see it, but if you're not going fast enough, you're not going to get through it. It's like an invisible wall. Think of it similar to that. It separates space, which is made of water, from our atmosphere, so that it doesn't break through, and then we end up getting flooded with the liquid atmosphere from space. So in this case, Christ is saying in this situation that until heaven and earth pass, he's saying until that firmament passes away and the whole planet. So he's just saying not just the earth itself, but the firmament too. And until that passes away, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise. Let me stop there for a second. One jot or one tittle, not a period out of the sentence, not a comma, not a cross on the T, not none of that, shall in no wise pass from the law. So he's saying right here, none of that is going to be erased from the law. Not a yeah.
Salaki, if I could, Salaki, I ain't even cut you off, brother.
You to
You
walk.
can hear me? Yeah, most on Christ.
What's my
Brother,
Christ?
you going in, man. You doing your thing. I see you. I see you, brother. But
What's my Christ?
I wanted to point something out, as that one jot and one tittle that can also refer to your politicians, the ones that's in the higher power of the ones that have a say so, the ones that make our laws. right? Well, here in America, crossing the T that's a big thing, right? And even
Con,
down to the lowest, the poor people here in America. Of course, our blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and of course, the ones that's in a position of power. That dotting of a T is a little thing. So even the poor and the high and mighty have to keep this law, man. This law is always going to be here. It's for our well being, something that's going to make us better. So, like,
con,
that's it.
con, absolutely. No, that was a direct hit. Target is finished. That's destroyed, but this law is not. Christ said he did not come to destroy the law at all. And what the brother just said right now is definitely tawab and true. You can't when Christ said he's not doing away with it, he's just not doing away with it. He'll all be fulfilled. So until all be fulfilled, nothing's going away with this law. Nothing's going away. So until Christ come back and crack that sky, or whenever the Most High deems it the right time to do away with the law, then that's when we might consider it. But as of now, this law is still going. It's still continuing today. Your Christian pastor, like I said earlier, they don't care that you're gonna keep fighting in the street. They don't care that you kill each other. They don't care that you're still on dope. They don't care about none of that. There was one woman. It was time to bury her mother. This is a story about another Judite sister. It was time to bury her mother, and her mother had been in this Christian church, I think, like 40 plus years, and they she was asking, her daughter was asking that they help out with the funeral, like just expecting them to do it for free. Yet the pastor ended up trying to charge her, and not just charging her no little amount of money. It might be little to some people, but for the most part, not charging her a little amount of money. And then after being there for 40 years, any amount of money really is not little. Yet when she went to when the pastor responded to her, they tried to charge her, and she basically said, like, my mother's been here for 40 years, 40 plus years in this church paying her tithes, and she can't get a proper burial here. See, that's how the Christian church will leave you. The Christian church will absolutely dog you out because they don't follow the law. They will see you on the side of that road, like I mentioned with that law, where it says if you see your enemy, which is just an Israelite that you're not getting along with, if you see your enemy's donkey on the side of the road, you help them with it. That Christian pastor, they see you on the side of the road, you could be in their church for 40 plus years. 40 plus years. You ain't missed tithes, you ain't missed communion, you ain't missed none of that. But you could be in there for 40 plus years, and they will see you on the side of the road, and they will not help you. They will act like they did not see you and didn't see you at church on Sunday, and still tell you to pay your tithes and be like, "Oh, I didn't know, sister so and so. That was you up in that 2002 Honda Civic. Girl, I didn't see you out there, sister. I was driving by, but I didn't see you out there in my Bentley, in my Rolls Royce, with your money that I used to pay for it. I can't, but they will not help you. They will leave you out there stranded. They will not help you at all because they do not follow the law because they think that it's done away with. That's why they don't touch the law when you in church. That's why they don't do it at all. But verse 19, whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments. It's one of Christ said, if you break one of the smallest commandments, I'm talking about one of the smallest commandments. Like, well, I'm gonna continue on and teach men so. If you break one of the smallest commandments and you teach men so, you think, okay, let's, like, going back to those Christian pastors, they'll teach you, it's okay to eat pork. The law is done away with, and don't even understand what they're saying because you can't do away with one. Christ said, not one jot nor one tittle. You can't just do away with one and then the rest are not done too. So if you ask that Christian pastor, okay, what about murder? So you can murder now? They'll say, no, you can't murder. That's in the commandments, but that's the law. They don't understand that they're saying that if you can eat pork, you can now murder too. They don't understand what they're saying at all. They just do that all for the sake of their satisfaction, to satisfy their lust, because they don't have brotherhood. They don't have sisterhood. They will tell you this thinking that it sounds so proper and right and righteous, but not knowing that they're the reason why you think it's okay to be gay and play the organ, why you think it's okay to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster and keep blowing up your blood pressure as if it's just some nice Tawab thing to do for you to just keep having to go back and forth to the doctor. They don't know that they're part of the reason why you're on dialysis, because of, like, just like I mentioned earlier, when you don't tell your brother or sister where they're sinning at, I don't, like I said, be creative with it, be seasoned. I think it says be seasoned with salt in one of the scriptures. Just say it in a way to where you know that they understand that this is brotherly, that this is sisterly, that this is coming from a place of care. If you don't let them know that eating that pork is bad, that what the pastor said about, oh yeah, you can eat this pork, correlates directly with the rest of the law being, if it's done away with, that now that's okay too, that now that means you can murder too. If you don't let them know that that pork is bad for them and they continue to eat that pork, their blood, if they die, their blood is on you. Now they blood pressure done went all up, and now they done had a congestive heart failure or something, and you didn't mention it to them. It's different if they just keep eating it and you mentioned it, but you have to mention it, because not one jot or one tittle was done away with. Regardless of what their pastor is telling them, just mention it. You know, just let them know. Let them know what's going on with that situation. If they want to be stubborn about it, let them be stubborn about it. As I mentioned earlier as well, uh, I forget what scripture it is, but there's a scripture that says that when you try a few times, a certain amount of times, to let them know, if they keep going about it, they keep going about it. If I'm not mistaken, Christ, he even said, you know, if an Israelite acts like a heathen, treat him like a heathen. But that's, you know, you wanna you want to be careful with your approach on that. You don't want, just because you see uh, a so-called Black, Latino, or Native Indian, the Most High's chosen people, just because you see them doing something that you know is a sin, you don't want to immediately start to treat them like an outcast. There's this thing called grace that Christ came to make sure that we have a chance at, which is just a period of time to get better. Give them that chance. I mean, you can't give them that chance. Christ came for us to help us get that chance. But when it comes down to it, let them know that that option is available. Let them know that they cannot. I was at the gym a couple of days ago, and there was a sister. I heard her. It was she was talking to somebody else, another brother, and the 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 person that they were talking about, their condition was near death. And she said, you got to go and talk to them and tell them, have like somebody from the church go talk to them and tell them, you know, that they still have a chance to make it right. And what she's talking about, for those of us who grew up in a Christian church, she's talking about, they have a chance to sit in their deathbed and say, I accept Jesus Christ in my life. And now all of a sudden it's done. Now all of a sudden that's it. There's nothing else that needs to be done. They can eat all the crab that they want, all the pork that they want. They could keep they were smoking cigarettes. That's what it was. They have lung cancer, throat cancer actually, and they just continue to smoke cigarettes. They just gonna keep smoking cigarettes on their deathbed, and because they said these little words, now all of a sudden the law is written on their inward parts. It doesn't work that way. You must practice this. You have to, this is a daily thing to improve. It's a daily thing to make sure that you don't eat that, to feel that fire of, and this is how you know that, you know, those demons may be a little too close. You might need to sharpen your sword a little bit more to fight these demons and get counseling in the ISUPK, is when that fire is very strong. You know, that burn to, I really want to eat this piece of bacon right now. I really want to do like the pastor said. I really want to take part in Christmas right now. When that burn is that strong, that's a weak, it's a sign of a weak point. You know, you got to come get counseling, and then we'll help you learn how to fight that demon the right way. Moving on, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. So Christ had mentioned here, you know, now I'm gonna read it over again. It's the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 19. Whoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. So right here, Christ is saying that that pastor that is teaching you that, oh yeah, you know, you don't have to keep the law. You know, you can eat some pork. You know, you can smoke cigarettes and just say, you know, just say Jesus Christ 3 times. You know, like just Beetlejuice or something. Oh yeah, you'll be all right now. You'll be okay. That pastor right there in the new kingdom, he is going to be cleaning gutters, doo-doo gutters. He is going to be scraping lard. He is going to be doing the lowest of the low jobs in the new kingdom, because he is offending these little ones. He is teaching to keep to he's teaching to break one of the least commandments. No matter how small of one of these commandments are, or these laws, statutes, and commandments, you should never teach anybody to break them. If it comes up in your mind, keep your mouth shut to teach somebody to not keep these laws, or you will be right there next to your Christian pastor that you had in the new kingdom, uh, scraping shrimp doo-doo off the rocks on the side of the beach that the rest of us got our feet kicked up and chilling on, because we don't want to smell that stuff. So we need somebody to come clean that up. Don't be that. Don't be that. Don't be like your Christian pastor. Don't be like your Muslim imam. Don't be like anybody that would teach you not to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, because when in the future it's going to be very bad for them. But whosoever shall do and teach them. So as I mentioned before, the law, statutes, and commandments are to be done. You have to practice these. This is a daily repetition. One thing that I pray for is that my children grow up in the truth. Because imagine having the law written into your inward parts from birth. Like, you already practicing it. I would love to see a child who's grown up in the truth, how they look at pork, how they look at shrimp, crab, and lobster, how they really analyze these things based on what they know about the truth, because the truth is all they know. They looking at these people eating this stuff, and they like, you do understand that some animals are not meant to eat. Like, there's a law that says don't eat bats, hoopos, eagles, vultures, ostriches, these different birds. And if you notice, what a lot of them have in common is they eat blood, they eat flesh, they eat stuff that is not good for us to eat.
Right. It's like, if I could. Can you hear me? I'm just making sure.
Come.
Yeah, most high in Christ. Perfect example of a brother that grew up in the truth is Kevin Ariah. Kevin Ariah is Jeremiah, his son. He's never experienced what it feels like to sin against the Lord, meaning eat pork, be a part of this world, because his father is Jeremiah. Like, but that's all I have. But I mean, he's literally like the perfect example.
I actually had seen I think it's on GP or Godalhar's Perspective. Captain Godalhar, he has a YouTube channel called Godalhar's Perspective, and I think I seen a interview with him, and I remember him explaining some of his experience. Though I would like, to be able to get more detail on what that's like to like witness, you know, like especially from like a baby, like a toddler. Can you imagine a toddler? They friends got pepperoni pizza, and they got some chicken, and they in the ISUPK. You know, this Tyler's in the ISUPK, and they know not to touch that. And they looking at their friends like, what in the world is this? Let alone as they growing up, and their friends asking them, why don't you eat these different type of animals and stuff like that? And they let them know, like, you know, that shrimp are just sea roaches. Would you eat that roach crawling right there? Some
That's,
animals are just meant Salaka.
I was saying Slack. I was saying that's right. That's
God.
a fact. Yeah.
Some animals are just meant to do things like clean up. They have different functions. Like some animals are just meant to clean up. Like a pig, if you leave it long enough, you don't even have to walk away from it. You could just watch it. And if it's left alone long enough, it will eat its own feces. Some animals are just vacuum cleaners with flesh. You wouldn't eat your vacuum cleaner. Do not eat that animal. So, just being able to, have the opportunity to raise children in the truth in the ISUPK is something that is absolutely a blessing. And we have to be able to take advantage of, make sure that we raise more of these children up inside the truth, because now that brotherhood, it trickles down the line into the children. And one thing that you could see even in heathen cultures is that children are very important when it comes to the maintaining a culture and building a culture, because they pass it along and it's all they know. When you see an East Indian and some of the nasty things that they do, it's all they know. So when you tell them that it's nasty to put your foot in somebody's food while you cooking it, before you feed it to them, they will look at you like you crazy. They will look at you like you are absolutely insane, because this is all they know. We need to have our children being raised up in this truth, understanding that anything against the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments is insane. Electing a president that is a SA offender is insane. When so-called Blacks, Latino, and Native Indians cannot get a job sometime with a misdemeanor, but you elect a president with 36 felonies just because he's a so-called white man, is insane. Eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, the vacuum cleaners with flesh, is insane. We have to be able to communicate these things with our brothers and sisters so that more of us can understand why these things are important, so that less of us get lost in the sauce of Esau's kingdom, of what's going on in his kingdom. It was here recently I seen, I think it's DeGeneres, Elvin DeGeneres. I don't know. She got like a famous TV show or something, but she's been diagnosed with something called kuru. And kuru is directly linked to cannibalism. And I don't know if you know about the Epstein files that they keep trying not to talk about, but a lot of people, Trump, who was mentioned in there, I think thousands of times, if I'm not mistaken, but a lot of those people, those people way up in those high seats in the white man's kingdom, they was eating children. So I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if she was found in there a few thousand times and she was eating some of that baby jerky, because to her, that's not insane. To those people in those files, that's not insane. To them, it's just another day, another day, another baby jerky. To them, it's just normal. We have to teach our children to avoid being around those situations and not understanding what exactly they're around, or they will eat some of the jerky. And Christ right here is letting us know, when you teach people to eat some of the jerky, to not keep one of the least commandments, which I don't think that's one of the least commandments, cannibalism is crazy. Though, when you teach our people to do those things, like, there's a special place for you in the new kingdom. And trust me, It's as low as it gets. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So when we keep the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, and we teach our people to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, we end up in those high positions in heaven. We end up reigning and ruling in heaven. Or even if it's not just reigning and ruling, we in a far better position than those who don't teach to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And that's just like the least. They're not even teaching to keep, they're teaching to break the least of the commandments. Imagine some of the other stuff that they teach not to keep. Imagine the conditions of those who teach that. But he said, even the least, so it don't matter how big or small of a commandment that you teach to break, it's all bad for you. But when you teach to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, there is a very ma'ad tawab, very good place for you in the new kingdom. A special place that is prepared specifically for you for doing what you were supposed to do, making sure that you didn't teach your children to be like Jeffrey Epstein and his children. Well, his children, his people in general, to eat people. I'm gonna go ahead to 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. But like as mentioned earlier, we're special to the Most High. So we have to treat each other accordingly. If you special to the Most High, you special to me. That's, in order to showcase that, we have to follow the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. So when you sin, you're transgressing the law. You are going against the law. When you sin is transgression of the law. So when you don't follow the law, you're sinning. We have to make sure that we remind each other what that looks like sometimes. Because when you continue to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster, you end up with the diabetes. You end up with the skin conditions that for some reason they're not going away because your pH balance is off. Or your pH balance, for women, now you got different conditions that you're dealing with. And you now you in these physical states that you didn't even know a demon couldn't affect. Because a demon absolutely affects the physical realm as well. They on the other side in that fourth dimension. But soon as you eat that pork, soon as you eat that shrimp, that shrimp platter that you had with, I don't even know what the red sauce is called anymore. I'm so far removed from it. But soon as you dig into that, all type of stuff is going on in your body that you didn't even know. Now that demon done latched on. It's like, yeah, I finally got one that folded. Don't fold. Life is war. Be prepared to fight demons. I don't necessarily look for demons, but I like to make sure that in any situation that I can find myself in, that I am prepared, that I'm absolutely prepared. The way you get prepared is you get in class and you learn the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments so that you don't transgress against the law, so that you don't sin. Sin is transgression against the law. So you don't listen to your Christian pastor with whatever they making up and telling you that the law is done away with, telling you that it's bad to sin, but the law is done away with when sin is transgression of the law. That's insane. You're going to have to ask them to explain that to me. If the Most High says sin is transgression against the law, how is it that the law is done away with? How do you even, how does that work? So we have to make sure that we don't fall into that trap of thinking the law is done away with and then just sinning all willy-nilly because of some lie that's been passed down and passed down and passed down. or sin is the transgression of the law. I got a little ahead of myself there. Though, as you heard, sin is absolutely transgression of the law. So we have to communicate keeping this law and making sure that we do it consistently, day in and day out. Do it until it's automatic. There are things in the world I had mentioned earlier that I forgot that that people don't even work on Memorial Day. I didn't even know it was Memorial Day for a moment, but I forgot that people don't even work on that day. So there was stuff that I was trying to continue with, and there was people who weren't available to make sure that continued at my slave. We're gonna go ahead and go to First John chapter 2 and verse 3. Let's head over there. So this is the book of First John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him. When you keep the most high's law, statutes, and commandments, that's how you know that you know him. If you want to know if somebody follows the most high, just check to see. Oh, Salakia. Yabashim Shabakatah.
Yeah, Bashim Shabbat. Lord of Christ. We're going down. Can you hear me?
Khan, loud and clear.
All right. Where we at? Come on. Oh, well, hold on. Let me get you right. I know you ain't did this before on the line. So when the brother above you come in, you to say, and with that, I'm gonna pass the class over. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay. And with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Officer of 1,000, Isupk.
Oh, sorry, Christ. All right, Nadia, where you at? You in here?
Come on, cuz, I'm in here.
All right, you good? You can show your camera or you got the slave, right?
I'm slaving, but I mean, I can find a way to prop it up, sir.
Okay, no sweat. It's lucky for me being late. I want y'all to give a round of applause to everybody that's watching, man, to Officer 50 Maga War, man. Maga War been holding it down, been dropping it heavy. I've been listening to y'all. You're doing a hell of a job, man, at the water for the assistance you've been giving out here in Eastern North Carolina. Again, I do want to say to all the brothers and all of the sisters, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, if you are in Eastern Carolina, if you're in Goldsboro, if you're in Kinston, if you're in Snow Hill, if you're in Kill Devil's Hill, make sure that you are in Snow Hill, North Carolina every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. to get the classes of the truth, man, to get the classes that's been handed down by Commander General Yohanan, the Israelite School of UPK, so that you can learn the truth of the Bible. Similar, you understand what the brother was bringing out, man, about the law or whatnot. Most High Christ, Shalom of Christ. I know we kind of coming up on the time, man, but before we go, I do just want to take all of your questions. Any questions online, just type it into the chat. I'll take your questions. If you got any questions in the room, of course, Maga War, Nadiyab, you brothers know what to do, of course. But again, I did want to say the water for Maga War for holding it down. Understand, you've been a great help to me out here in Eastern Carolina.
What's
the short period of time that you've been here. All right. I know. Let me see. I did have a question. Somebody texted me, but I'll wait for that. I don't think that they're in the class right now. Any questions online or with you brothers right here? Come on.
If I could, wanted a general breakdown on the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 14.
Isaiah 45 and 14.
Come, sir.
All right, let's go.
High and mighty.
Go ahead. What you said?
It talks about the high and mighty men, I believe, referring to the Sabians and how they're going to change, I believe. I just wanted like a general breakdown on it, sir.
You said 45 and 14, right?
Come.
All right, come on, let's go.
Here. All right. You can hear me, sir? Just making sure. I don't know if I cut out. Come. This book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 17. Thus saith the Lord, the labor of the Egypt, labor of Egypt.
You said 17 or you mean 14?
14, sir. 14.
Okay, come on.
Come. This book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 14. Thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt and merchants of Ethiopia and of the Sabians, Men of stature.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Come.
So right here, you need a general breakdown of this whole verse, right?
Come, sir.
All right. So right here, right, this is Isaiah prophesying. Isaiah is prophesying unto Israel, right, and to the heathens, and he's saying, "Thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt." You know what labor is, right?
Come, sir.
The work that Egypt did. And what was the work that Egypt did?
Put us in captivity, sir.
Enslaving you.
Come.
Enslaving the Israelites, otherwise known as the Jews, right? Negroes, the Benjamites and the Levites. He enslaved you, and that was his work. Similar to who?
Ethiopia, sir. Well, Slack, America.
Similar to America. Hold on 1 second. Hello? 1 second. Slag about that. But you're right, similar to America, similar to what the English did to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right, in Central, South America, and of course North America. Right? Keep going.
Come. And merchants of Ethiopia. And of the Sabians.
So now the Ethiopians and the Sabians, what did they do? They made merchandise, right? And they worked and they profited off of our slavery. They profited off of our captivity, similar to who today?
The heathen, sir, that come over here.
Yeah, similar to the Ethiopian and the Sabians today. Ain't nothing changed. You understand? How many items do you get? And on the item, it says made in China. Everything says that it was made in China. How many the couch that's in your house right now, was it made by a black man?
La.
Was it even made in America?
La, sir.
Yeah, it wasn't even made in America. There's going to be heathens that are going to profit because black people have become the biggest, what's the word? Consumer. They become the biggest consumer in the earth. Why? Because you own nothing. You own nothing. So you can't buy with other black people. You can't buy or sell with other Mexicans or Native Indians because you are a consumer, because you are in want of all things. That's the precept you want for this.
Okay.
The children of Israel would be in want of all things. Well, the people that want all things are subject to the people that have all things. The people of God want everything from the Sabians. You need things from the Ethiopians. You need things from Egypt and America and Central and South America, heathens that rule over you. You need things from them so that your people can survive because your people have nothing. Well, now Isaiah is prophesying unto those people. And he's saying that the work of Egypt for enslaving us and the labor of and merchandise of Ethiopian, of the Sabians, keep going.
Men of stature.
Men of stature. He's making sure that you know that who I'm talking to is you, Donald Trump. That's who Isaiah is prophesying unto. He's talking to you, Kung Jun, whatever the hell his name is. I don't know these people's names. You stay tuned for Captain Iathak. He knows everybody's name over there across the water in China and everywhere. I don't know any of it, right? But all of these governors and all of these military leaders and so on and so forth, these are the men of stature. These are renowned men that have some kind of value or some kind of importance into the world. So much so that they force you to be slaves for them. Keep going.
Come. Shall come over unto thee. They shall be thine.
See, Isaiah is saying, man, these people are going to come over unto you and they're going to be in your hands. One day, just imagine this, somebody needs to either put this on a t-shirt, make a reel or a skit or something like this. But one day, Chinese people, they're going to buy a pencil and the pencil is going to say made of Israel. Ooh, could you imagine? Could you imagine a day that Chinese people have to order things off Amazon and it's made from Magawar? Magawar made it. Look at that table. Look at it, this cup. This cup comes from Magawar's factory. Some Israelite guy that you'll never know and you'll never shake hands with, but he owns the manufacturing company that made this cup. You want to look at the bottom of it, and it's going to say made in Magawar land. And then the computer that you're using, the internet that you're using, the water you're drinking, one day all of the nations are going to come to you and they're going to use your resources. You're going to be protectors over them, and they'll be in your hand. Now you have control whether the Mongolians eat or starve. Can you imagine that power, Nadia? The power to be able to have a council and one day say, do we give money to the Iranians or do we not give money to them?
Right.
Do we give help to the Palestinians or do we not give help to the Palestinians? The Palestinians will be in your hands.
That's right.
You'll decide whether they eat or whether they starve. You'll decide whether they live or they die. Keep going.
Okay. They shall come after thee in chains.
Meaning what? They're gonna come after you. You know what Isaiah is saying that they're gonna suffer from? Let me see if you got it.
Stockholm syndrome, sir.
You said what?
I would say Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, they're gonna suffer from Stockholm syndrome. They're gonna be in chains and they're gonna still come after you. They're gonna still want to follow you and serve you. And they're gonna say, yes, sir, massa. Yes, sir, massa. What is that in Hebrew? They're gonna say, what's the word I need, Tabawan? What's the Hebrew word for power? Alahayim. They're gonna say Khan Alahayim. Kam Alahaya. They're gonna say it. Khan Alahaya. Khan Alahaya. And they're gonna say, damn, but that's the language of the Hebrews. But they're gonna be in your hands. You're gonna take control of them. And even after that they're in chains, they're gonna still come after you so that they can learn how to be a people. And that's all they need. That's all the heathens need. They need to learn how to just be a sensible people. Learn how to not shoot schools up. Learn how to not create world hunger. Learn how to not let animals go extinct because you want to kill them for sport. Learn how to not create deadly viruses like COVID-19. Them Chinese people went over there and thought eating pangolin was a delicacy. Could you imagine you had to have some kind of money to eat a pangolin that created one of the most deadliest viruses that America has ever seen? That's insane. They just need to learn a little bit of sense, a little bit of morality, a little bit of the law that God has set for the children of Israel so that the world could be a better place, because they'll do this. They're going to come after you in chains and they'll learn from you. Keep going.
So I got to step off right quick. I got to handle some with the client, sir.
Come on, we'll be at Isaiah 45 and 14.
That's 14, sir. Come.
Magawar, can you pick up for him?
Okay. In chains they shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee.
And they're going to fall down unto thee. They're going to bow their neck and drop to the ground unto you. They're going to serve you. Keep going.
They shall make supplication unto thee.
Anybody, what's supplication mean?
Supplication meaning like I'm not too familiar with the definition, but that means to like offer you food, offer you.
Meaning they're gonna beg for food. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna beg you. They're gonna say, please, please. You ever seen one of those movies where, like, you know, the whole city is full of beggars, and then there's somebody who got power, and everyone is just on their knees, like, please, Lord, please. They're supplicating unto him. They're supplicating unto him, asking for help, asking for food. This is what they're gonna do to you. The same way black people do it to America today. How many black people are lined up in voting booths so that we can get what? So we can just get help. Black people just want Obamacare. They want health care. They want food. They want clothes. They want government assistance. They're supplicating unto America for help because America is such a greedy bastard country. It's such a greedy, bastardized country that helps nobody except itself. Well, one day, these other nations, they're going to supplicate unto you. They're going to come to you and they'll get on their knees and they'll beg you for assistance. They'll beg you for food. Keep going.
Okay. Saying, surely God is in thee.
Ooh wee. Ooh wee. They're going to say, surely God is with you. God is with you. They're going to look at you and they're going to see God. Because at this point, they're going to know that there is not a people on this earth in history that could have overcome what blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are going to overcome, except God have been with them. They're going to know. You can find that in a book in Revelations, I believe, where it says there come a time where the children of Israel will no longer speak of the Lord that freed them from Egypt, but there come a time that the children of Israel will speak of the Lord that freed them from out of the land of the north. There's going to come a time out where this revelation that is going to happen here soon, we are in the last days, the world and all its inhabitants is going to say, God has to be with you. I mean, damn, we threw drugs at you. We threw 400 years of slavery. We annihilated your culture. We took your fathers out of your household. We put poison in your food. We poisoned your water. We poisoned your mind. We made you love everybody. We gave you Christianity. And then we threw in Hinduism, and we threw in atheism, scientific Pan-Africanism. We threw in Allah. We threw everything at you. Surely the only way that you've gotten out of this captivity is if God is with you. God has to be with the children of Israel. If somehow you were freed from this is what Isaiah is saying. They're going to say, keep going.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there is none else.
Mm.
There is no God.
They're going to say there is none else. There is no God. There is nothing else. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Verily, thou art a God that hidest thyself.
Mm-hmm.
O God of Israel,
Mm-hmm.
the Savior.
Mm-hmm. Meaning
Verse
what?
16.
What is Isaiah saying here? What is he saying to the heathen? Well, now he's speaking to the Most High, but what is he saying? You want to
He's saying that the Most High, I'm not sure. I don't want.
No sweat. Read it one more time.
Verily, thou art a God that hidest thyself.
Isaiah is sure. Isaiah is showing his faith. He's sure. He said, I know you a God that hides yourself. Surely you are. Because I know that these nations are going to weep at our coming. They're going to serve us. They're going to be subject to us. They're going to give us supplication. Now, surely you're a God that hides yourself. Because if you were here now, they would be on their knees begging for mercy. They would be on their knees begging for supplication for us. But surely you're a God that hides yourself. Isaiah is saying, surely you ain't doing your work yet. Your work is not here yet. You're hiding your hand. You ever heard someone say they hide in their hand?
Okay.
Yeah, God is hiding his hand. He's allowing for the heathens to get big. He's allowing for them to get mighty. The precept you want is in Exodus, right? For the Lord allowed Pharaoh to get big and to get mighty, to do what? Only to show his power. Only to show. He would hide in his hand. The Lord could have killed Pharaoh on day one. The Lord could destroy Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. He could destroy all of these counselors and these governors and military leaders and all this, whatever. He could do it tomorrow. But the Lord is allowing for them to get strong and big and mighty. You know why? Because Christ deserves an introduction. Huh? Y'all ever heard us so in the movies where they say you just always got to have a grand entrance, huh? Yeah, Christ deserves a grand entrance. He deserves it. He died for us. You understand? And the Lord is going to give him a grand entrance. So Isaiah says, surely you hide your hand. Keep going.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 16. Salakia. O God of Israel, the Savior.
O God of Israel, the Savior, which proves that salvation is only for Israel. Right? Keep going.
Okay. Verse 16. They shall be ashamed.
Talking about who?
Talking about the heathens.
Yeah, heathens. The Moabites, the Ammonites, the Japhites, the Geshurites, whatever, the Ammonites, so on and so forth. They shall be ashamed, right? Because they should have never believed that they had a right to put their hands against the children of Israel. They should have never believed it. They should have known that God was with them. You understand? It's almost like, imagine you're a father and you got sons, and you send your sons into the world and you have a reputation. Everyone knows you, Magawar. They know you do not play. And everyone knows it. But then someone decides to wonder that they're going to mess with your daughter or mess with your son. And you just hide in your hand. You just watching to see how long are their fathers, how long is the people in the neighborhood going to allow this to happen? You just watching to see who steps up. Then you're giving them a chance. Now you have a reputation to not be messed with. And so you're just waiting. You're just trying to see before you unleash the fury of God, before you unleash the wrath that you have, you're just waiting to see that maybe somebody doesn't deserve it. Maybe somebody doesn't deserve what's coming for everybody in this neighborhood. And you're just waiting to see who doesn't deserve it. But then the Chinese, they pick on your sons. The Japanese, they do it too. The Hawaiians do it as well. The Ishmaelites do it. The Hagarenes do it. The Ammonites do it. Everyone bullies your children. Everyone bullies your son. No sweat out. There's going to come a day when the neighborhood is going to be on fire. They're going to be on fire, and you'll have no remorse. You'll have no pity. Because who stopped? Who stopped when my daughter was crying? Who stopped it? Who stopped the abuse when my sons were crying? No one. But then no one's going to stop the abuse when you cry. No one's going to stop the abuse when the Japanese cry. You know what we're going to do? We're going to be over here creating technology. That's what we're going to do. While the Japanese is being enslaved and feeling the wrath and fury of God, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, we're going to look across the water and we're going to say, damn, look at it. Look at the let me get a Hebrew name. We're going to get the MAGA war laws on them. They suffering from MAGA war laws. MAGA war Yahweh laws over there in Japan. MAGA war is over there oppressing the hell out of them people. And we're going to be over here like, damn. Well, let's create the new iPhone. Let's create Samsung. Let's create Kodak. We're going to create things that's going to better our nation while you just suffer from MAGA war Yahweh laws over there, being oppressed. But Japanese people did nothing when we had Jim Crow laws on us. They did nothing. Koreans didn't. I don't even think I've seen a Korean make a post about Black laws and vagrancy laws in America during civil rights. During any time, actually. No sweat. There's going to come a time where you're going to be ashamed that you didn't. Boo-hoo, MAGA war. Isn't that such shame? Isn't that the perfect story? You're gonna be so ashamed. You're gonna look at this and you're gonna say, damn, why didn't I say anything? I know. Y'all know Japanese people. I know white people. With all of the time you've had to say something about Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian oppression, all of the unaliving and the oppression and the mistreatment that's been happening to our people, I know you've had so much time you could have done something. You could have, and you didn't. Well, in that day, you're going to be so ashamed when God is burning down your neighborhood, and you know why. You're going to absolutely know that this is because of how much of a devil you've been to his children. Keep going.
Okay. And also confounded all of them.
And you're going to be confounded. All of them will be confounded. All of them. You all are going to know that you were wrong. That you were wrong for what you did. What you did for on the Trail of Tears, you considered it manifest destiny. You used God to try to prove why you had the right to unalive 75 million Native American Indians. You used God to try to prove it. And this day, you'll know you were wrong. You're wrong. And that's it. Listen, let me tell you something. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we've had to go through the same exact thing. We go through it right now. Then y'all hear about that sister that got unalived by her white husband? You heard of that, Michael Ward?
Yeah, I kind of actually heard of a few of them here recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening. Listen, let me tell you something. When that sister took her last dying breath, the last one, you know what she knew? She knew I was wrong. I was so wrong to open my legs for some devil, thinking that this devil was better than a brother. I was so wrong for doing it. She knew it. Black people have been suffering the I was so wrong for 400 years, believing that if we loved our oppressor hard enough, then maybe they'll love us back. And then time and time again, we realized that we were wrong. We were wrong for trusting Dylan Storm Ruth inside of that church in Charleston, South Carolina. We were wrong for trusting George Zimmerman with being a neighborhood watch. Could you imagine letting some devil be neighborhood watch over black people? When you know that you got young black boys in the neighborhood and you allow George Zimmerman to be the watch over them. Yeah, in that day, our black parents knew that we was wrong for doing that. We shouldn't have did that. That was a mistake. We've had to be confounded and ashamed time and time again, knowing that we were wrong for our love for our oppressor. Well, one day, white people and heathens all alike, they're going to know that they were wrong for the hate that they've had for us. Is that not the perfect story, Michael Ward? We've had to find out that we were wrong for the love that we gave to our oppressor. And God is going to flip the script, and they're going to find out how wrong they were for the hate they gave to us. Ooh-wee. I'll take a drink to that, Salaki. That damn near is a quote. They're going to find out soon enough, and it'll be too late. Just like it was too late for Emmett Till. Just like it was too late for the people, the brothers and sisters in that church in Charleston, South Carolina. Just like it was too late for what's the brother's name? Trayvon Martin. It's too late for him to understand how wrong he was. Too late for his parents to understand how wrong they were. You put a neighborhood watch in my neighborhood, and there's some George Zimmerman. We got to fight that. I don't believe he's mentally equipped to be a slave catcher over the children of slaves. I don't believe that that's right. There's something wrong with that. But because of Christianity, we're always too late. Y'all write that down. Because of Christianity, it's always too late before we realize just how wrong we are. But there's no sweat. There's no sweat. No matter that, God is a God of Israel. And one day, white people will realize just how late it is for them to realize that the hate they've had for us is wrong. The oppression they put on us is wrong. And that's what Isaiah is trying to get the people to understand. It's trying to get them to realize that there is going to come, a time is coming. A time is coming where change is imminent, where the turning of the guard is imminent. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Understand? I know the brother had to leave, but I pray that answers his question. What we got? Michael Ward, you got anything?
Khan, I wanted to see about getting a breakdown of Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 22.
Oh, you've been reading. I was hoping you ain't go back to John. So this brother is reading everything in John. No sweat. You said Ezekiel what?
Oh, chapter 1 and verse 22.
All right, let's go to the prophet Ezekiel. You can read it whenever you get it.
Okay. It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 22. Mm-hmm. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth. Oh, Salaki.
No, this is a angel, right? This is an angel precept. The angels, of course, are not babies with floating wings. The angels are terrible creatures, which is why when you read anything about the angels, it labels them as creatures, the living creatures, the creatures, so on and so forth, because these creatures were creations. They're creations of God. And these creatures are visibly terrifying. That's probably the best way I could put it. They are terrifying on purpose because they represent the Lord and his work. They represent the Lord, and the Lord is a terrible power. He is a man of war. You find that in Exodus chapter 15:3, if I'm not mistaken. And so his creation is terrible, right? So now read what you got.
Okay. Stretched forth over their heads above.
Read it again from verse 22. I'll break it down.
Okay. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature.
So now,
was
right here, you might have to read up a couple verses. Or is your question about the creature or the firmament?
I think it was mainly about the creature. I just didn't understand who was being spoken of here because it says, and the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature. So I was trying to get an idea of like what's going on here. If the firmament is upon their heads, I was trying to see like what the living creature was and just like a general idea of what's occurring there, like their position, like where they're at and whatnot.
I understand. So this is a vision that Ezekiel is having. He's having a vision, and in his vision, he is seeing these living creatures with four faces, right? And these four faces, the four faces had the face of a man, and one had the face of a lion. You understand? And the other had a face of an ox, and the other of a if I'm not mistaken, an eagle, right? And these faces are like, you ever seen Riddick or Pitch Black or the Riddick series? You remember the necromancers?
Vaguely, but I think so.
The necromancers were like them devils who in all black. They came in them ships and they had them like they can move like real fast. And there was a necromancer in there that like when he would move, his face would like shape shift. It would like form into something else and then form into something else. This is how the angels were. You understand? Like you would look at them and they'll look at you and just be something else, and then be something else, and be something else. And this is how the angels were. Their faces would turn into an ox, into an eagle, into a man, and so on and so forth, into a lion. And then they had their wings that would stretch upward, right? So as he's seeing it, he's seeing this being, this beast, and the wings is going up. And every two of them would join together and it covered their whole body. They had large wings and they had the likeness of living creatures, meaning when you looked at it, it seemed like this was, you ever seen Jeepers Creepers?
Okay.
Imagine that. Imagine Jeepers Creepers in the moonlight. He jumped right up into the sky. He opened up his wings and he behind the moon, and all you see is a silhouette. And when you see this silhouette, it's like this shit looks like a man. It got a cowboy hat on. It looks like a man. Look like it got two legs, two arms, but then it also got wings. So you like, I don't know what the hell this is. This is a goddamn creature, right? And his appearance, or their appearance, like it was like burning coals. It was like burning coal, like it was hot, like it would breathe in and out hot, right? You know, if you got coals, when you blow on them paws, they start to sparkle red, and it's just very livid. It's very lit, and this is how they were, right? And so as he's seeing them, read the part where you at again.
Okay. And under the firmament were their wings. Oh, Salakia. Verse 22. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the
likeness of the firmament was what was above them, because the firmament, of course, is the ozone layer, right? That Ezekiel was talking about. So he's talking about the sky above them. Keep going.
Okay. Upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal.
Was as the color of the terrible crystal, right? So he's seeing his vision, and he's trying to figure out. Well, he's not trying to figure out, but he's explaining what he's seen. You understand? And the terrible crystal is like it's like the brightness or the purity or the majesty of it. Like the terrible crystal is like the bright sky above. That's pretty much what it is. It's something that is overwhelming. You understand? Something that when you look at, like, you ever look at a day, like a beautiful day, and you just go outside and gaze at it, you just marvel at the day, and then say, damn, the Lord created that. Similar to like my background, similar to this. And you go outside and just look at it and say, damn, the Lord created this day. This is a beautiful day. While what Ezekiel is saying is that this is a terrible power because the Lord created and the Lord is a terrible power. And this represents him. You understand? That crystal that he's seeing above the angel's head is the firmament in this vision. Keep going.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Stretched forth over their heads above.
And you know that this is talking about the sky because in verse 23, it goes into and under the firmament, right? And it goes back to them talking about their wings, talking about how it covered each side, so on and so forth, right? So this, so to answer your question, the firmament here is just talking about the sky. It's just him painting a picture or illustrating what he's seen in his vision. And in his vision, he's seeing the angels of God, right? He's describing them. He's describing the scene in which he's seen them in.
Okay.
Good to go on that?
Okay.
All right, what's next? What you got?
So I wanted to know what it is, because I know women are supposed to dress modestly, though oftentimes, obviously in the world, we'll see women when they go to the beach, they have a lot of their body showing. I wanted to know if there's like any particularly proper attire for women when they go to the beach, or is it kind of like, when you see it, type of deal?
Yeah, the modesty thing, and I hate these questions, so please, I don't ever ask me about what's right and what's wrong for a sister to wear. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Here's the thing: for a sister that's married, when it comes to modesty and apparel, it's the best way to put it is like it's something. At least for me, it's something hard to explain, but I know it when I see it.
Okay.
Like I can't explain to you what I think makes a woman beautiful or not. I cannot for the life of me. I can't explain. If I tell you if she's tall, if I tell you she's short, if I tell you she's in the middle, I'm lying to you, because then you're gonna see me with a tall woman after I said short. You're gonna say, I thought you said this. And then you're gonna see me with a plus size woman when I said skinny. And you're gonna say, I thought you meant this. I don't fucking know what I like. I don't know. And I'm tired of people. This is a side note. I'm tired of people telling me I have a type. I don't have a goddamn type. I don't know what the fuck I like in a woman. I don't know. That's why I always make bad decisions with women anyway. I make terrible decisions because I don't know what the fuck I like. I don't. But I know it when I see it. When I see it, I say, I like that. And say, I like how that look. You going to imagine like this is like something reading. To explain this is like going to a French restaurant where everything is written in French. And everything is like, do you want the creme brulee de la frome de la ponce? Do you want the lascivious las coleslaw? It's like, shit. It sounds good. It sounds good until I see it. Then I see it. I realize you brought me octopus guts. I didn't want this. I don't know what the fuck that is. Take that away from my table. That's how it is trying to tell a woman how to dress. She come to you, Margaret Ward, say, babe, do you think it's okay that I wear for the black party tonight? Did I wear the crop top extra large with the fishnets, with the knee-high boots, with the extravaganza portfolio stamina Bentley belt? I said, that shit sounds sexy. I don't know. And I assume that you're asking me because it makes sense to wear. Then she puts it on and you say, oh, no, hell no. You didn't say your fucking ass was out. That's the part of the Bentley belt. The belt is the only thing covering your ass. I didn't know that. I don't know. So the point is, if you have a husband, just ask him. If you don't have a husband, just ask a sister who has a husband, I guess, or ask your camp leader. I don't know. Just cover your front butt and your back butt and your thighs down to your kneecaps. That's as best as I can give you. That's the best.
Okay.
Just cover that up.
I don't know if we got time for it, but I just wanted one more breakdown.
Oh, we got a little bit more time. We're probably gonna go about 15 minutes over. That should be
Okay.
enough time for everybody getting the caps class.
So I wanted a breakdown of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 32. I had seen this before and I didn't know like how we practice it today, or how it works.
Pull that. And Nadia, did you hear the breakdown? Or is there a specific part in the breakdown that you didn't get for the question you asked?
The lock here, sir. Let me go back and look.
If so, I can just break it down real quick. But go ahead and you got Margot.
Okay. So this is the book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 32. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy God. I am the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right. So thou shalt rise up before the hoary head, right, and honor the face of the old man and fear thy God. I am the Lord. So what is it saying here in Leviticus?
So,
some concept.
All right, I couldn't hear what you said. Did you still need some on the other scripture or no?
Basically, like the supplication, is that saying like they'll bring their treasures to us? Is that what they're saying?
No, the supplication means they're gonna beg us for ours.
Okay.
Right? They're gonna beg us for our treasures because they're gonna have to come to us in want of all things, like we've came to them.
Current concept, the water. I do have I got quite a few.
We'll get this one. I'll get one more for you, and if we have time for one more, we'll go.
Okay.
All right, so come on, Margot Ward, where we at? Leviticus, right?
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 32.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, read it again, slowly.
Okay. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy God. I am the Lord. So
you just need a general breakdown on this, right?
Okay. Like how basically I'm asking like, do we like how that applies to today pretty much, I guess.
It means listen to Commander Jenny Hanna. Listen to him. Listen to General Mahaiman, General Mayaki Allah, and General Kabbalah Mar, Kathumgabar, and General Shawamar. You're going to listen to the hoary head. You know what the hoary head is, right?
That's gray hair?
Yeah. They probably going to hate me for saying this. But you're going to listen to men that's better than you because they've been here longer than you. For a long time, because of Christianity, we've been taught a culture that we should not listen to our elders, that we should not listen to the men that came before us. And that has destroyed Black people because the men that came before us made all of the mistakes. They trusted the white man. They trusted the Chinese man, and they paid a price for it. They paid a price. But now we've been taught to not listen to them because they're old and dumb and stupid. And so you know what this does? What this scripture does? This stops you from creating your own stupid fake Israelite group, Genesis. This is what this does. Sakari, AOC, Geo. This stops you from doing that. This stops you from thinking, oh, I'm young and lit. I'm young and lit and got the truth. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the things that I've been taught by Commander Jenny Hanna, that I've learned in my youth, in my young age? And because I may have some may say I have charisma. Some may say, oh man, you can speak and people will follow you. Some may say that. I don't believe that. I believe Commander Jenny Hanna has all of the charisma. There's not enough for any of us. And there's not enough following a man after Commander Jenny Hanna has led since the 80s for any of us to have any of that. But some may say that. Could you imagine me taking the things that I've gotten from Commander Jenny Hanna and having somebody follow me? Someone having followed me because I'm young and lit and I feel like we should go out here and wear Jordans to camp. That's what we should do, Michael Ward. Yeah, we should just make everybody join the truth and have them all get the new Air Jordans and get grills. If you're gonna be in the truth, you gotta get Air Jordans and you gotta have grills, and you gotta I don't know, gotta get a glistening chain. You gotta get a nice chain and get a nice haircut and be
Right.
nice and look good so we go to the club later. And that's our Israelite group. There we go. Now we call ourselves what? What comes after Genesis? What's the next book? Exodus?
Yeah.
Exodus. Okay.
Exodus?
Yeah, come up.
Yeah, we just call ourselves Exodus. This is Exodus group. Exodus group online. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know how you come up with fake Israelite names. It'll just be that. You're gonna listen to the hoary man, right? You're gonna listen to him. You're gonna listen to the man that came before you, the man that has many seasons with him. He's been here before us. Now, Jenny Hanna, he's seen many more winters than we have, and he's seen many more years in the truth that we could ever imagine. You can only pray to see as many winters in the truth as Commander General Yohana, as General Shawa Mars, General Mayaki Allah, Hazayan, Katham Gabar, Kubala Mav. You can only pray to see as many winters as them. Don't think age. What the fuck do you think? Age is an automatic relevance of how many years you're gonna be in the truth? I bet some people thought that, huh? I bet you thought, well, shit, I came into the truth at 18. Don't you know that Commander General Yohana was in the truth as a young man? And at some point, he was 30 years old. And while he was 30 years old, there was some 18-year-old that came into the truth and had all kinds of promise and zeal, had all of it. And guess what? Commander General Yohana is still here. That 18-year-old is somewhere sucking some rod behind some alleyway for a cigarette. That's what he's doing. He's doing it. One day you'll listen to your elders. That's here. One day you'll listen to them because they know more than you. They know more than us. They've been here longer than us. You think that what you're going through is new. It's fresh. You think it's hot off the press, don't you? Because we don't use newspapers anymore. We use Instagram, and you think that your problems is new. The woman you're dealing with, she got some kind of new problem. I think she calls you a stupid Negro in a different language than they call Commander General Yohana back in the 80s. No, the women he dealt with, the generals dealt with, they called him all kinds of names back in the 80s the same way your woman does today. It's the same thing. Here's the difference. What you do ends you up in jail. It ends you up in prison. What you do. What Commander General Yohana has done, it's allowed for him to continue being what God had ordained him to be for over 30 years. That's the difference. So I don't know about you, but I think I'll listen to the scripture.
That's right.
The scripture say that we should listen to them. Read it again.
Okay. It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 32. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man.
Honor the face of the old man. You're going to honor him. Now you're going to honor him by changing your life and doing what he said to do. That's how you honor him. That's all they want. Understand? Their time of age have passed. Their time of age is gone. Don't let General Mahima hear this. His time hasn't passed. He's still here, young, gun, and running. I'm sure he's probably going to chop my head off for saying this. But in general, the time of age is past, man. They want to see you win. They want to see you win. They want to see you do it. They want to see you take what they learned, what they had to suffer, what they had to go through, and they've given you the answers so that you can go out and finally beat the game, so that you can win the game. You know what that gives them? It gives them vindication to know that what we were taught, what we went through wasn't for nothing. And what we gave these young men was right. It was right to tell them to not be an alcoholic. It was right to tell them to not deal with that woman. It was right to tell them to do this and do that. And brother, you're going to honor Commander General Yohana. You're going to absolutely do it because you're going to do what he told you to do. And you're going to prove to the world that he was right. He was right to set the generals above you, that set the captains above you, that gave you your camp leaders. He was right to do it because your life is saved. That's how you're going to honor him. That's how you honor them. Keep going.
Okay. And fear thy God, I am the Lord.
And you're going to fear God. Ak. You better do it. You better fear God. Because if you don't, no sweat, Ak, you won't listen to the elderly. You'll end up on Rikers Island somewhere begging and pleading for your life. You'll be in a prison program begging for Captain Zakar to send somebody in there to save you. It'll just be you. You be on some street corner. You know what General Hyman gonna do? He's gonna walk over you. He's gonna walk over you like he never knew you. I'm not saying that because for any other reason other than that's what he said. He said it himself. You drop your sword out of this truth and decide to dishonor Commander General Yohana, General Hyman is gonna walk right over you. And guess what? I'm gonna honor General Hyman. You know how I'm gonna do it? I'm gonna be right behind him, stepping over you like Allen Iverson. I'm gonna be doing it right behind him, and I won't look back because he won't look back. That'll just be that. That'll just be that. You understand? That answer your question?
Okay, do what?
All right, that's what. Nadia, what you got?
Come, sorry. It was so basically my topic for camp is slavery for America, right? And like I have some precepts already that was already that I already had. I was just wondering, like Isaiah 61 and 1 and 5, as far as the precept that I had Isaiah 61 and 5 together already. I was just wondering if I could add verse 1 to get some basic
I might be losing you. You said Isaiah, what chapter?
61 and
Isaiah.
verse 5. Come.
But you're asking about verse 1 and verse 5?
Come, sir.
I mean, to answer your question, typically they would match, being that actually no sweat. Let's read it.
Come. This book of Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and to open and the opening of the prisons of them that are bound. Then verse 5 says, well, basically of course of what verse 1 says, come to preach good tidings. Then verse 5 says, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dresser. Basically what I'm asking is that this is me adding that. Of course, it's in the same context, that same good tiding. Basically, how do I add some flavor to it without starting a riot? Basically, is what I'm asking. Even though, being at camp is anything can happen, but
okay, you lose. I was with you, but now you say without starting a riot. What do you mean?
meaning like, because I can say some things that's might rile up the crowd.
Yes. See, brother, I think you might be asking the wrong brother this. All right, you might be in the wrong class.
That's good.
This class might not be for you because starting a riot is absolutely what I want. That's what I would like to do. I would love for it to happen.
Right.
To be able to make white people lose their effing mind because of something that was said, it's oh Jesus Christ, the skill. Are you such an orator that we'll have a repentance of Capitol Hill because I said some shit out of the Bible? Brother, you might have to go to Cap Night Thought. If you ask me, I'm gonna say start the goddamn riot. Start it. Put the button. Say whatever you got to say. To say the white man is going into slavery. You're going into slavery, and you're going to serve like how we served you. You know how like our backs was whipped. You understand? For being late, for waking up late in the morning. You know how our backs was whipped for 10 lashes. You're getting 20. You're getting 20 for every minute that you were late. You understand? You know how that we didn't get to eat, but of the crumbs, of the crumbs that the master didn't want to eat, you're eating less than the crumbs. That's what you're gonna do. Listen, I'm not trying to start a riot. I'm trying to prophesy unto you the prophecies of God. That's all I'm trying to do. Listen, if I tell you that 2 + 2 = 4 makes you want to kill yourself, then so be it. So be it. But I can only tell you the truth. The truth. It's right here. It's in verse 5. It says, and the strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. It doesn't say they'll sit down. Nadia. Is that what you wanted to change it to?
No,
Did you want to say, oh, well, white people's gonna feed the flocks, but maybe you'll sit down and do it.
Right.
Nah, that's not what that scripture say. The scripture say that you're going to stand. You're gonna get on
That's
your
right.
feet. You're gonna have to create ointments to deal with the bunions on your feet because the shoes that you have don't fit.
Right.
Like you did to a certain like you did to a certain group of people. Yeah, you're gonna stand and feed the flocks. And the sons of the alien. You call the Mexican, the Latino brother, the alien today. One day you'll be the alien. And you'll be the plowman and you'll be the vine dresser. You're gonna make sure I get all the good wine. Ooh, we're gonna have some Don Nadia. There's gonna be some Don Nadia, some Maga War in the sea. It's gonna be some what's the other one that I hate? It's Hennessy and what's that other bottle of liquor everybody go crazy for?
The lucky other one, Jose Cuervo.
Maga War, what?
No.
No.
Nah, that ain't
Jose
it.
Cuervo is gonna be called Josh Allen. That's gonna be that. You want some Josh Allen? Get that cheap shit. It's what's the other one? Casamigos. You gonna have some Yaramigos.
Casamigos.
Yeah, they're gonna be drinking Yaramigos. That's what they're gonna have. They're gonna have that. And guess what? Yaramak and his people ain't plowing none of them fields. They ain't dressing none of them vines to make none of that wine, none of that liquor, none of that. It's gonna be our oppressor that has oppressed us that's going to do it. Now, if that makes them want to go storm Capitol Hill or destroy America, then Most High in Christ. Go do it. Just know that we're not Christians and we will defend ourselves.
That's right.
That's it.
What the water say?
I in the bar. I got one more, and then we got to roll. Where we at?
So lucky other one. I had a Did you have
No,
one?
you too wild. Go ahead.
Okay, so I did have a quick question. So the 144K, I understand that they'll be in a position of rulership, yet they're in the new kingdom, correct?
God, yes.
Okay, so in the new kingdom, we continue to what's the word? Thinking for it like die and come back. I can't think of the word right now.
Being resurrected.
Comic-Con. So reincarnation. Comic-Con.
Well, no. So I'll pray we won't die and come back. Understand? We won't die and come back. If you make your election sure and you are chosen to be up on the chariots, you will get brought up onto the chariots. You will not die. You'll remember everything about America. You'll remember that you was just drinking Don Julio a second ago in your living room, being oppressed by America, and now you're on a chariot being transformed into something new. And you'll remember and you'll watch as America burns. And you'll stand there and watch with Christ alongside of him. Right?
Comic-Con is
kingdom.
Salakia. So is the elected, are they the 144K or is that a separate thing?
No, the elect are the 144K. You want to make sure your election is sure, then you're making sure you're part of that 144. You'll be that 144,000 that is in rulership of the new kingdom. All right.
Okay. Because my question was, when they're in rulership, do they pass away and then somebody else goes into their position?
It'll be no different than today. Donald Trump is in rulership, right?
Okay.
One day he'll die and some other devil will be in rulership after him.
Okay.
That's it. But Donald Trump will die and know what? America is white. He'll know he's not spiritual at all. So he doesn't know a damn thing. But imagine if he was, he'll know that I could die knowing that I'm coming back white. Coming back a white man in America, and this is going to be a great country for me. So I left it a great country. But one day you'll do the same thing. You'll die an Israelite, and you'll know that this kingdom is a great kingdom for you. You understand? Like, imagine like dying is so hard because of all of the things you feel like you're leaving behind. Because you feel like now you're not there to protect certain people. Getting old is hard because you can't get old peacefully. Getting old is supposed to be a peaceful thing. It's supposed to be a lovely thing to be able to get old and not have to work anymore. But you can't get old, Maga War. You know why? Because your children will become drug addicts if you get old. Your children will be whores on the stripper pole if you get old. So you can't ever get old. You got to always stay young and stay a fighter and stay a protector for your family because everyone else is terrible. in your family. So you got to stay old and stay in the gym and stay working out so that you can live as long as possible to be able to protect your daughter from some idiot in the neighborhood that's going to try to molest her when she's 16 years old. In the new kingdom, it won't be like that. In the new kingdom, once I hit 36, I'm done. Work's done. I'm not doing no more work. I'm not protecting anybody. I don't have to protect anybody. Drugs, what? Alcoholism, what? What are we talking about? Life is good. Life is beautiful. I'm going to be on the beach somewhere with my toes in the sand, chilling, enjoying the creations of God. That's what I'm going to be doing. 36 years old, I'm going to be doing that with some Yaramigos. It's going to taste better than Casamigos. It'll taste better. I promise you, brothers. It will. I'm going to be chilling while some servant brings me a fucking apple martini. I don't even like that. He's going to bring it to me anyway. I don't care because it looks right. And that's what's going to happen. And then one day I'll die and I'll pass on and then I'll be born again and I'll be going to some private school learning about MAGA war, learning about Nadiyab and Iraq and Captain Ayathak and what the brothers did in the old days. I'm going to grow up learning about them and I'm going to have so much infatuation over them that I'm going to want to grow up and be just like them. And I will. I pray you understand.
That's right.
We're going to follow our ancestors' footsteps. And we're going to be freedom fighters. That's what we'll be. One more question. Come on, Nadia.
Come on, sir. I had a basically like a general breakdown on the book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 8 and 9.
Come on with it.
Come. This book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thine possession. Verse 9. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron.
Damn.
Thou shalt dash them in pieces like the potter's vessel.
It's not. So this is David. Or hold on, is this David? 1 second. I'm not sure. I believe this is David, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe it is, sir. Salah.
Yeah, just correct me if I'm wrong. If not, either way, this is a prophet. This is a man of God. This is David. And he said, ask me, and I shall give thee the heathen. This is, hold on 1 second. Actually, Salaka, this is the Lord. My bad. Salaka. That's why I was getting mistaken. This is the Lord. You understand? This is the Lord speaking. He's saying, ask of me, I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. Meaning what? He's going to give you the heathen for you to possess, for them to be your slaves. If you ask him, you ask for the Most High, and I will give you anything. Right? This is what he's saying. Keep going.
Salaka. I will give. And I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
And I'll give you the heathen from thine inheritance. Meaning, this is what I'll get. Like, you'll inherit these people. You'll inherit a nation of people that's been evil unto you. You'll inherit them. But David had to go and kill Goliath and fight against the Philistines, and Israel fought many wars against many nations. And the Lord is saying, I'll give you them people. I'll give you the Philistines, the Girgashites, the Ammonites. I'll give them to you. And I'll give them to you for an inheritance. Right? Keep going.
And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. And everything that you see, everything that you could lay your hand on, I'll give it to you for you to rule over it. For you to take into your possession and rule over it forever. Keep going.
Come, verse 9. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron.
And thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Meaning, if you ever beat somebody and you beat them with a stick, the stick will break. If you beat them with, a twig will break. You beat them with wood will break eventually. But that iron is something hard to break. Meaning, this beating is long lasting. You ain't getting out of this. This ain't breaking. You understand? You get hit with this, and you're gonna have to endeavor it for a very long time because iron does not break like wood. It doesn't. Keep going.
Come. For thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
You're gonna break them like a potter's vessel. Meaning, at one point in your life, these heathen were so strong. They were like iron. They were like steel. Remember, the Romans, they started using iron or steel weapons or iron weapons. They were using iron. And it was a military advancement during that time because everyone else was using other materials that could break easy, that could bend easy. But this iron was so strong that it wouldn't break nor bend. And so now they had an advancement over other militaries because of this foundation. Now you're going to be able to break them like they had broken other nations with their iron. You're going to be able to just destroy them out. There'll be nothing. There'll be no arrangements or agreements or no councils or any of that. It'll be a monarchy now in that day. Whatever Christ said is whatever we say, and that's what the heathen will do. Period. That's it. I mean, is that not how America has treated you? Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. Now, y'all, do you have the choice to wear your seatbelt in America without getting punished for it?
La, sir.
Michael Ward, let me see. Do you have a choice in America to collect rainwater without getting fined for it? Nadia, can you hunt deer wherever you want to hunt without getting in trouble for it?
La, sir.
Do you have to pay your taxes?
Come.
Okay, can you just walk into a grocery store and take something out without paying for it?
La.
If you do these things, then you will have to get punished for it. And the punishment has been rough for Black people, to say the least. It's been rough. Black people, they used to say Black people got football jersey numbers. 70 years, 60 years, 40 years. That's hard. That's hard years for hard labor. Yeah. One day they're going to be ruled by a rod of iron themselves. They're going to have to deal with it because it's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. And if they don't do it out, then they'll just shatter like the potter's clay. They'll just shatter like a vase that you drop on the floor and split into pieces. Oops. Oh, well. Michael Ward, I guess we got to sweep it up. Matter of fact, get the heathen to sweep it up. Get them to sweep it up like it's nothing. Take the bodies and just move it like it's nothing because it is nothing to us.
That's right.
That's in the Bible. It's not us saying it. God said it. You understand? That's the end of that question?
Come, sir. Well, just a little bit more of it, like as far as like the rod of iron. How they treated us through slavery, hanging, wars, bombs, buck breaking, alligator bait. I can add those things into that rod of iron that they used against us. I just want to be clear.
The things that you mentioned is why they're getting the rod of iron.
Remember,
think of the rod of iron like a belt. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like you were late home, your room was dirty, you got all F's, you talked back to your mama. Now you're getting the rod of iron.
Come, sir. That's what I was asking, sir. It's a lot.
Yeah. So the alligator bait, the hanging us from trees, the oppressing us, those are the things you've done, and now you're getting this rod of iron. Now you're getting beat. Now you're going to get beat for all of the things you've done to us. That's it. All right.
Water, sir.
I ain't the ball. With that, I'll take the classes. I'll take the questions next class, but make sure y'all tune in to Captain I Thought Tuesday class. It should be live now. I didn't see the notification, but if it's not, it should be coming up live now. Get in there. Also, make sure that y'all are getting prepared for the Tennessee Cookout, July 4th Blackout Weekend out in Nashville, Tennessee, July 3rd through July 6th, if I'm not mistaken. Get with your camp leader if you need assistance to get out there. Also, we got the Philly Cookout coming out in Philadelphia this year. This is going to be crazy. September 5th weekend. Make sure y'all get the Philly for that. All the other cookouts, I'm sure, will come out soon. But make sure you're supporting this truth, paying your tithes. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the class. Shalom.